What is up, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started with today's announcements, for those of you who are new, check out this new attire. But before I get started with tonight's review on Friday Night Smackdown, I need to say a couple of things first and foremost. Thank you guys so much for your views on my response to Dominic Mysterio getting, or should I say, Sent Mysterio getting arrested on Christmas Eve. Thank you guys so much. That got up to 2,000 views. I really appreciate that. That is a huge blessing to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Also, special shout outs to Esther Ellis, Peter Burlett, and Michael Finley. Thank you guys to just subscribing. Thank you to all the other new unannounced subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Also, sad news, I would like to send my thoughts and prayers to the family of Don West, one of the greatest TNA announcers in history. Don West and Mike Tenay were amazing together in TNA back in the day. And unfortunately, Don West has gone home to a better place. And I send my thoughts and prayers to his family in this time. Now, with that being said, let's get started with a very strange opening tonight of Friday Night Smackdown with Bray Wyatt attempting to apologize to the cameraman for last week's attack. Yeah, or the tape version of last week's attack. And then LA Knight comes out, disrupts the whole thing, and challenges Bray Wyatt to the Royal Rumble. Accepted. Pitch Black. I don't know if that match specifically is going to be the Pitch Black match, but it is taglined as we know Pitch Black, which I think is taglined as a rumor for Edge coming back. But who knows? Looking forward to seeing that match. But what I was not expecting was for Uncle Howdy to come out. Pretty interesting theme to fit him. Pretty creepy. He came out tonight and attacked Bray Wyatt with the Sister Abigail DDT. What the helicopter is going on here? Also, tonight we had Sheamus in our first match of the evening. We have Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa in a match. And we, first off, Sheamus flying off the top rope like that is starting to become interesting. We don't see that happen. I think he started doing that either last week or a couple of weeks ago, but that's starting to be a new thing from Sheamus. And we saw him give out 16 beats of the ballad. But after diving onto the Usos, he came back and got a Samoan spike, which is shades of their Uncle Umaga, for the win. Right before Sikoa could continue the damage, Drew McIntyre came out, and next week we're going to have the Usos versus Drew and Sheamus for the Tag Team Championships in a match that I believe is going to be, in Sheamus's words, a banger. Speaking of bangers, here's another surprise. Tonight we had Raquel Gonzalez, or should I say Rodriguez, versus Ronda Rousey in a match that was a lot better than I expected. The last time they were together, it was a pretty good match, and Raquel took Rousey to the limit. At the time, Rousey was face, now she's heel, with Shayna Baszler. And despite her injuries, this one was a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie. It was even better than I expected because I thought it was going to be less than 10 minutes, but it actually ended up being a pretty good one. And I was surprised to see Raquel press Rousey onto the apron, and she did the Tamahata bomb on one good arm on the apron as well. We also saw Shayna put Rousey's foot on the rope to keep her from losing. I don't know why the referee didn't throw her out, but I will say this. I think the ref should have thrown her out. It's so entertaining to me when the referee throws people out. The other day, I was watching some of the best of AEW, and I remember Tony Storm versus Hayter, and the referee threw Rebel out when she came, and Rebel's reaction was, ah! it was just crazy. That woman is so overly dramatic to me. But nonetheless, after hoisting Rousey on the top rope and holding that armbar in place, Raquel finally fell down, and Rousey kept hold of the armbar, and Raquel tapped out. What I was not expecting, however, was for Charlotte Flair to return. First of all, awesome new theme, by the way. I think the new theme was very awesome. Raquel, I mean, no, Charlotte challenged Rousey immediately. Rousey, as Michael Cole said, let her ego get the best of her, and Rousey accepted the challenge, and Charlotte brought the noise. And of course, with a roll up, won the match. The fans went nuts. Charlotte celebrated with the fans and said one of the most memorable quotes of the night: Charlotte is home. And now think SmackDown's women division. And I'm not saying it's not as interesting. I'm just saying SmackDown's women's division can be a lot more interesting because with Raw, you have all the most well notable stars like Becky, Bianca, Liv, Rhea, etc. Damage Control, and on SmackDown you have people who are trying to get there but haven't got there yet, if you know what I mean. However, we have a top main event force on SmackDown, that being Charlotte Flair. Now things are about to get interesting. And in other news, tonight, Top Dollar gets dissed and roasted by everybody. Magic Mike Moss, as I used to call him before he lost the suspenders. Madcap Moss said a funny roast this time. And of course, it made Top Dollar mad because a couple of weeks ago, Top Dollar had that botch where he tried to dive over the top rope and made a mess. Some stuff God did not make us to do. Then I knew, first of all, remember when I said earlier, thank you guys for watching my video on Dominic. I knew Michael Cole was going to talk about it, and Michael Cole finally did. And thankfully, Dominic got bailed out before Big Bubba could get him, because if he had stayed any longer, he probably would have been violated by Big Bubba. And Dominic would have been out like Mr. McMahon. You violated me, Bubba! You violated me! I can't do a Vince McMahon in person, but I can try. You violated me, Austin! You violated me! That's going to be Dominic if he hadn't been bailed out by Rhea Ripley. Mommy, of course. You violated me, Bubba! But anyway, moving forward to some other short segments. Braun Strowman challenging Imperium, which I think would be a great match to happen at the Royal Rumble. Of course, it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen soon, but I would love to see that at the Royal Rumble because that's a high quality match. You have a gigantic muscular monster and you have a chest slapping, technically sound Walter Gunter. As I don't like using the G word, but in either event, I think Walter versus Braun Strowman would make a great pay-per-view match at the Royal Rumble. I think that would be great for the Intercontinental Championship, as Walter was bragging about everyone he defeated, and after an attack by Imperium, Ricochet came out, and I think Ricochet connected with Walter's head. When Walter was escaping, Ricochet connected. Let's talk about why we're really here. Tonight's main event was just awesome. We had KO and Cena. Kevin Owens has been doing a lot of press today, and we all know that his son was very happy for this match because back in the day they used to fight in 2015. Now they're fighting alongside each other. To take on the Bloodlines, Sami Zayn, Sami Uso, one of the most popular ones, and Roman Reigns. And early on, when Roman got in, after Sami Zayn suffered a nosebleed, Roman Reigns clotheslined Kevin Owens after he took his eyes off Roman because everyone was chanting, "We want Cena." which is a bit new because even though it happened last year, I still can't get used to fans being 100% behind Cena. It's new. Even though it's a year old, it's new. But in any event, Kevin Owens was isolated for a little bit, and then John Cena finally comes in and not only puts down Sami Zayn, then taunts Roman Reigns, baits him in for the AA, and then tags Kevin Owens in to give Sami Zayn the Stone Cold or the Kevin Owens stunner. And man, what an interesting year it's been for Kevin Owens. Who else gets to say they got what modern star gets to say they had a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania? Me personally, I don't think it was a better fit to face Stone Cold at WrestleMania than Kevin Owens. That was a pretty good way to end the SmackDown, and this is how you end SmackDown. Charlotte Flair returning and Cena keeping his streak alive. The only person who has kept a streak longer, performing at least once a year till he retired, would be The Undertaker. And that streak broke when he retired in 2020. Other than that, he has been present every single year for 30 years. Do you think John Cena will break The Undertaker's record? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. That's all the time I have for you today, and I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. I hope you guys had a great year. Looking forward to 2023. Let's see what happens.